Okay, everybody, we are back. We are back to do the first creases. So this one is going to be pretty good. I am going to use the dark maroon color, which I called Red 02. You don't have to use this color. You can use the regular red if you would like. But I am wanting to not have to do it 1,000 times, so I am going to do it hopefully just once with this color. So I put, because I want it thicker, so it's easier to see. It's still runny, but it's thicker than what we were using before. So you can see it's thicker because it's not as watery. And I put, like, this is a half a tablespoon, so I use kind of half of this with distilled water, a drop of the emulsion, and 1/2 brush of the paint. So you're going to need smaller brushes for the creases. This one is a 1. This one is, I don't know, it's not on here anymore. I actually made that one. You can cut them down. It looked like this one, and you can cut it down. This one is a 1. So these two are 1s, and this one is probably, I don't know, a 0, and I cut it down. So I got those 3, and I have more up here if I need to use even smaller ones. I have an even smaller one that I made. There's barely anything on it. So I can use that if I need to. I've got a couple of those ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to try this skinny one first. See how it does. You're going to put paint on it. You don't want a lot of paint. Now, you don't have to do all of the lines, okay? And I'm going to go on here and show you what I'm doing. Let me put some color on because I do want this to stay on for a while without it having to take it off. So I am going to show you what I mean. Okay, so we did by the eye. There's a lot there. I did it over here too, but not as much. Beside the nose, under the the chin, the deep, huge, deep crevices. And then you're going to take another sponge and you're going to pounce it, but it's not going to completely take it off. Do not swipe it, just pounce it. And I'll show you. You're just kind of picking up the color. So now you have color in there, but there's no paint in there. So and you're going to do the same thing with the eye, around the eyes. And this is what is a pain in the neck because you want the color to show up. And after you do 2 or 3 layers, it shows up. And then you're going to pounce it off again. See how much of the color stays on. And we need another Q-tip. Because sometimes it leaves like a mark, and you'll see what I mean when you do it. There's like, and it's going to be hard to show you it 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 leaves like, oh, here's a good one right here, the chin. It leaves that kind of mark. You don't want that. So you want to get rid of that. You want the line, but you don't want the pool. And that's a pool. We don't want the pool. But we want the color. So, and it's best that you get off all your little blemishes when you catch them, because if you don't, it's going to be hard to get them off, especially on the face. I mean, if you do a little bit on the back of the head and stuff, the mottling will cover it, but you can't cover a whole lot when you're doing the face. Now I'm going to do this one more time so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to put a dot of paint. I'm going to fill up his nose. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to fill up his nose. I am going to put a little bit in the middle, because you're kind of doing details right now, but not full details. You're just adding like the base coat of the details. And I'm going to put some red, this red inside his mouth and on his lips. I want it to get some color, the start of color. Pretty quiet during this part of it because I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. On this little guy. I want the start of his lips to get color. Let's see. And see all that little pooling? We don't want that. A little bit is okay, but we don't want a lot of it. And his lips are pink. I want the inside of his mouth to be pink. And there's lots of little crevices inside his mouth. And along outside his mouth. Let that dry, and I shouldn't have. So we will fix that. That's good. And you can see why this takes a little bit. Because one, you need to concentrate. And two, you're really starting to do the details of it all. I was trying to soak up some of his nostril stuff. Not all of it, but some of it. I'm trying to do the middle little thing. I got this. You can see the redness around his eyes. He's not going to look real pretty after we do creasing, because that's all you're going to see is that. But once we get in there and really start the mottling and everything, it's all going to blend in. It'll look really nice. So his little lips are pink. That's what we want. Trying to get rid of all this little pooling stuff. I want his little lips to be a pink. Do a pink. Okay, so I'm not going to do the little lines that are up here. I'm not going to do those. I'm only going to do like the deeper lines. A little deeper lines. And even though you're putting it on there kind of heavy, right, and then you're taking it off, you can still see the color. Oops. Don't drop your sponge. Okay, so you can start to see the red around his eyes, his nose, his mouth, his chin area. We're gonna do that now. Keep mixing up your paint. And we haven't even done the limbs, the limbs yet, the ears. We haven't done any of that yet. It's gonna take a hot minute. We've been doing this for 15 minutes now. So you're just gonna draw in these deep, deep, deep lines. Okay? And inside the ear, you're just gonna put a bunch of, in the deep parts, you're gonna put a bunch of this color in, and you're gonna leave it there so it gets the color. And let it set for a minute, and then you're gonna pounce the color off. You're gonna need another dry brush. I do the back of his ear, because you look at the back of your ear, you're gonna have color behind there. So I am gonna do that. Make sure you get it off the part of the ear you don't want on there. And we have a dry brush. Using one of these other dry brushes, and just soak it up so there's no pooling. Damp off the wet part, and then when you get into the inner ear, it's gonna soak up into the brush, and then you can brush it alongside, because it's gonna leave color. And inside your ear is kind of a pink anyways. We're just gonna leave that color right in there and just smooth it around. Because the paint that you watered in here is all soaked up into that brush now. And now you can just move it around the ear. Okay, we did his face. I don't know if the light is going to make it look awful or not, if you can tell. Let's see if I put him down. I see a boogie in his nose. Let's see if I can get that out first. Like the boogies in his nose. Okay. Every time I put him down, I see something else I don't like. It's like I didn't take enough of the paint off. I gotta get the other side to match. So, all right, let's put him down. Let's see if you can see. All right, you can see the red around his eyes, around his mouth, his nose, underneath his neck. Can you see all of that? So his head is pretty much done, and this is just the start of the creases. We will do more on him at a later time, but I'm just getting a start of it right now. And it's just gonna look like it's just like it's red right here. See how mine is, just looks like it's red a little bit. And same with your jowls. And inside right here, you know, it's just a little bit red. So I'm gonna do the rest of his limbs. And then I will be back to show you what they look like. Okay, all the creases are done. And hopefully you can see them a little bit. I will bring this up kind of closer so you can see. I don't know if you can see with these lights are too. There we go. You can see his face. And let me take you, see his little foot. You can see around the, so you can see around there. And this little foot. You see the creases there. And let me get his head. And it's his little head. You can see the creases there. So he is done per se for this portion of the creasing. It's the start of it. And next will be, let's see, the bluing. Bluing and the yellow tips. That won't take long. That'll all be in one video, and I will probably do that tomorrow. And then veining. We'll do all of that tomorrow, hopefully. Shouldn't take that long. The creases are done. I am going to put that on top of that so it won't disappear on me. But that is it for this guy for tonight. It's taken a while. It's taken most of the day to get it all up to this point. I'm hoping by next week we will be done, but we'll see. So anyway, we will see you in the next video. Bye now.